Hello and welcome to AutoCAD 101. For this video I'm going to be talking about the fillet and the chamfer commands. Fillet and chamfer will be found on your modify window, on the modify box in the ribbon. And you'll see they're found under the same selection button. And you can pick them there, or for fillet you can type F. And by default this radius will be set to 0 and the mode will be trim. And you'll see there's a few options here on the command line. You can select multiple and that will allow you to apply multiple fillets. You can say fillet or fillet. A lot of people say fillet, although the T is technically silent because it is a French word. So to start out, you'll usually define a radius. By default, like I said, it is set to 0. And I've got mine set to 0.25 for now. And you can see in the brackets that's what it is. And I can just select, hit space to keep that, or I could type in, let's try 0.3. And then we select our objects. And it's when you select, two objects need to be crossing or touching with a corner, as you see them here. And I can pick, like I said, it matters which side you select because that will be the side that's kept. You see it trimmed this line from here based on this line and created this arc, which is the fillet or fillet. And after you do one, it ends the command, unless you select the multiple option. And then you can keep picking and end up with multiple fillets. And these are going to be an arc with a radius of 0.3. So I'm going to go ahead and hit undo, Control Z a couple times, and get this pound sign back. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple copies. Let's just make one copy. And then I'm going to draw a polyline. F8 doesn't work for me at the moment because my screen capture program also uses F8. Ordinarily it would toggle orthographic mode. And let's make a rectangle. And I'm going to put a circle here. F for fillet. And you see I have this polyline option. And since I did undo, it actually stepped back to having a 0.25 radius. But if you select a polyline, it will fillet all those corners. So now you see I have a bunch of rounded edges. You can do the same thing for a rectangle instead of using the built-in fillet command in the rectangle. But if you just use the regular fillet command, you can select single corners and it'll work on just that corner in the rectangle. If I do the fillet command on this circle, however, you'll notice it's trimming the line but not the circle. So it cut this piece of this line out and then added my little arc here. If I do it again, you'll see it trim that line, and again didn't trim the circle. And you can actually turn the trim option off. Like you said, that's actually the mode, and it's set to trim. You can set that to no trim, and it won't do that. So I can pick these two, and you see it just adds the fillet and doesn't actually cut these two lines. And of course, if, like I said, if you select multiple, you can pick multiple fillets to create. So let's move on to the chamfer command. CHA is a shortcut for chamfer, or you have to pull this menu down and select the chamfer command. Chamfer is very much like fillet, except that you'll see you have two distances here instead of a radius. And by default, you can simply pick the two edges, or you can select the distances. You can also select an angle and change the trim option, and again do multiple or do a polyline. Let's go to the distance part, and you see it gives you the option for the first length. Let's do 0.5, and then the second one let's set back to 0.25. So depending on which lines you pick first, you see it's creating a chamfered edge. And if I type in DI, which is distance, you can see that this distance is 0.5 and this distance is 0.25, because this is the first line I selected and this is the second. Fairly often you'll have both of those distances the same. So if I go into CHA, distance 0.25, and then by default it tries to fill in the second one with 0.25, or this is also what it was before, but it will try to fill that in usually. And now I can pick these two lines. If I delete the old one, I'm still in the chamfer command, delete the old one, you'll see that it created an equal chamfer. So DI 0.25 and 0.25. And like I said, if you have different distances, it's determined by which line you pick first. So the distance from the corner on the line you pick first is the first distance. CHA, and let's turn the trim option back on, and then you'll see what happens again. Trims those lines and adds a little chamfered corner. Let's delete these. Oops, I'm still in the chamfer command again. Delete these, type in CHA, multiple, chamfer there, and a chamfer there. That's fillet and chamfer command. Thanks for watching, and good luck.